Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do 10 things I hate about being fat. I am dedicating this to my future self as a reminder of the reality of carrying the extra weight so that I can not forget it. I have had times where I've been slimmer and you very quickly forget. I know with bypass surgery, that's not going to be the case so much as it is when you do a traditional diet and, you know, say you go on the shakes and then you come off and you're going to put weight back on. So the bypass is going to be different, but still, I think it's really important that I remind myself the actual reality of carrying the extra weight, not just, you know, the aches and pains within your body, the other things that, you know, are burdens to you and you have to live with and you have no choice. So, first thing that, not that's in order of importance, but first thing that comes to mind, because it even happened to me today, the flapping of your skin. For example, like the apron of your belly comes down, and I was on my hands and knees, reached across my bed to get something, yanked myself back, and the belly just went flap, and it actually stung a little bit. Like, I will not lie to you, and it was just instant shame within myself. Like, nobody was there, nobody knew, but I knew, I know, and it was just another grisly reminder. And it's just, I hate that sound. I am sick of that sound. Let alone the feeling of it is just disgusting. It's like you slap yourself, really. So, you know, done with it, over with it. And this time, when I get rid of it again, I do not want to ever get back to having that feeling again. Next thing, clothes not fitting. For example, jeans. You very rarely find a pair of jeans unless you have worn them so much that they stretched anyway, and even then you put on a couple of kilos, they're going to dig in. So it's only on the good days you can wear them anyway. But for me, apart from jeans, which are held on because they're tight, leggings, tracksuit pants, dress pants, a skirt, what have you, for my fat, when I stand up, it's not as bad as when you sit down. When you sit down, everything just flops out and, like, they roll down me. So then for me to get up, and it's okay if I'm home, for me to get up, I pull them up. But when you're out in public and you go to stand up and those pants or whatever you're wearing has rolled down and it's sitting under you, under your apron, and it's like, or resting on your legs kind of thing. But if you wore something looser, it's going to fall down when you walk, so you have to have something at whatever size, so you choose your size so that it doesn't fall down when you walk, as we all do for our clothes. Obviously they've got to be fitting, but the problem is when you sit down, things expand, the pants go done. That is the biggest problem I find with that, is even if I can get clothes, and I'll even get them a little bit bigger so I can pull them up. And then if they're sitting up above the stomach, it's not so bad. They're going to have more chance of staying up. The worst thing is underwear. Unless I wear little briefs that don't feel comfortable anyway because they're sitting underneath the fat roll, if you get ones that come up above you, around your stomach, you sit down, down. And then, doesn't matter what you're wearing, even, how are you supposed to get those undies unrolled through whatever you're wearing without anyone noticing? Now, it is an ongoing standing joke within the home with my children. Ha ha, mommy's pulling her undies up. Ha ha ha. But in public, please, most of the time, depending what I'm wearing, I'll choose to go without underwear so I don't have to face that problem. Or if you wear the brief ones, then when I sit down, yes, it's not going to roll down across the front, but once your ass expands out when you sit down, they go under your bum and they're not covering up your crack or whatever. So you've got to pull it up, and it's just, I want to get rid of that whole clothing issue crap that in times where I've been slimmer, I haven't had that problem. And this is an ongoing problem, and it is a daily problem. And no matter how many times you sit down, it's not just sitting down, bending down. So it's even household chores. You sweep the floor, you've got to use the dustpan to pick it up. It interferes with life. And it is one of those things that unless you're overweight, you cannot appreciate. And it is a slap in your own face, and it's a reminder that you're a big fat lard ass, basically. And then, you know, you go in the cycle of, I can't even put my undies on, like they're going to come off. And it doesn't matter how many brands you buy, you know. I know what I'm saying in regards to myself, so really this cannot be far different for others as well. But for future me, remember this, okay? You do not want to go back to that. Next thing, I do not want to feel guilty. So this is number 3. I do not want to feel guilty anymore when I eat, even when I drink. And that's not about overeating and binge eating. That is about simply even just having a cup of coffee out in the mall, and I just feel like, and you know, it doesn't matter what my family or friends are eating, even just having that drink, I feel guilty for having it, like I don't deserve it. And I don't like that feeling anymore. I don't want to go back to having that feeling. So that's got to go as well. Let alone actually eating out. And even at home sometimes I do, but not so much. But especially when you do eat out and you just feel like people are looking at you like, oh, haven't you eaten enough in your life? You don't need to eat that meal. You've already eaten it, you know, like it's definitely, and look, people probably aren't even looking, but you feel as if they are, and it's even just being self-conscious and therefore not even enjoying what you're eating, or even just enjoying the experience of whatever you're doing. If you're out at someone's birthday, or you could just be celebrating something with somebody, or it doesn't, you know, you just met someone for a coffee. It doesn't matter what it is, that is constantly in the back of your head. So, you know, to get rid of that would be nice. Another thing that I would like to remind myself of is the feeling when you walk into a room and you realize you're the fattest person there. And it's this sinking feeling. Or maybe not even the fattest. There might be someone who's reasonably as fat as you, or definitely fatter than you. It doesn't even matter. No matter what, you're among the fattest in the room. And that sucks. It almost makes you feel like you're not as a good a person as the rest of the people in there. And that sucks. Yeah, I don't want to have that feeling anymore. And of course, obvious things. So what are we up to? I think this is 6. I think this is number 6. Just exerting yourself. Like, you know, we go for a walk to the shops. My family are all still bouncing around happily, and I'm already... oh, and I can't keep up with them. So, or I'm walking slow and everyone else is a few steps behind. And you can see, ahead of me, sorry, and I'm a few steps behind. You can see they're deliberately even just, or that, not only just walking a bit slower so I can catch up, but even the feeling I get when they all stop and wait for me to catch up. Let alone just the exerting of, you know, we got to climb 2 flights of stairs to get, or we might have to go up some ramps, or, you know... It's embarrassing. Like, I know obviously the kids are going to be jumping around, but it doesn't matter generally who I'm walking with. It just feels like I'm holding them back. And I don't want that feeling anymore either. So, yeah. And that will make number 7. The struggle to move your body in certain situations. So to get out of a car... Sometimes, like, I've got a van, Tarago, so it's not so bad. Like, you're kind of stepping out and stepping in, and you can use the handle to get in. But a normal car, like a sedan, it's actually a little bit of a struggle to get out. And probably nobody's watching. It's me that's aware, but I feel so self-conscious that, oh, look, here comes big fat lard ass trying to get out. And... you know, or even getting the babies in and out of the car seat and just the exerting. So this is how many times a day I do this, is countless, on a normal weekday day, to climb into the car, reach them back over, do their buckle in, or to get them out equally, and to struggle to move my body to get them in and out. And a lot of the times, not just sometimes, a lot of the time it actually hurts. And I don't want that feeling anymore. Like, another thing I don't want the feeling of. There's all just these little things that are just to make you feel like shit, basically. And it's not good. Remember that, Emily. Okay? Remember these things. Okay. While we're speaking of seats, let's move on to seats and make that number 8. Some chairs. I panic in a room if I see a seat that I even wonder, like, you know, your traditional wooden kitchen chairs. Is my ass even going to fit on that chair? And not just that, it cuts into your legs. So wherever the base of the seat is, I have to be so careful how I sit on it and consciously on it, thinking on it the whole time. If I move wrong, that chair is going to dig into part of my ass, my thighs, and then, like, I have big indents in there and it hurts. Like, oh, just the simple things in life that you take advantage of being able to sit on a chair. Like, chairs are not designed for this big fat ass that I've got. So, you know, it makes life hard unless you can guarantee you're going to get a good chair, or a wide chair, let's just say that's a good chair. And it's not even that I'm that wide. Like, I'll be considerate. If there's someone bigger than me, I'll let them have that bigger chair. But it's painful. Like, I'd rather sit on the floor and have to get back up than have to sit in these chairs that dig in, because it hurts. You know, so that's another. They're little things, but they're things that make life hard. And then they hurt you emotionally as you're living through that. And you go, and you grit your teeth and you're like, So yeah, we'll make that number 8. Number 9. And this is a big one for me. Something I've always known, but my children, now that they're getting older, they're really starting to notice. I have avoided being in photos for like 90% of my life because of being overweight. And I don't like what I see. Like, we don't look in the mirror. I mean, you do look in the mirror, but it's like here kind of thing. You know, you brush your hair, you do your teeth, you do some makeup, whatever. You're not actually having to look at your body all the time. And a photo is very, very confronting. I used to actually rip them up, right? Okay, with digital photos now, it's just very easy to delete them. But for my children, like even on the weekend that's just gone, we went down to the park and a lot of photos were taken, and my daughter just naturally uploaded them on her Facebook and she tagged me in them. And then that night I went onto the computer and she's tagged me in all these photos, and I literally was, half of me was angry and the other half wanted to cry. And I sent her a message. It was like 10:30 at night, and I'm like, if you're still up, please remove this photos of your mother, please. And she writes back, yeah, why? What's wrong? And I said, Maddie, there's like 4 fat rolls going down my body. And she writes back, so? But that's you, Mum. And I love you, that's okay. And that just about had me in tears, because she goes, anyway, she ended up coming downstairs and we had a bit of a talk about it. She said she'd take them off, but it was just realising to my daughter, that's not a big deal because that's just you, Mum. But to me, I was devastated. I just looked like this big fat blob and I hated what I was seeing. And it's in your face, it's confrontational. So here's the thing. If I died today, my children would have hardly any photographs of me, not just playing a photo reel at your funeral. There will be no photo reel at my funeral at this rate. And it's not just that, it's them having memories of their mother. My oldest is 17, then 16, 14, 9 and 2 are my children. If I died today, my children are just only going to have their memories. There is jack shit photos of me, and that has been done by me not wanting to deal with who I am and what I look like. And that's not good enough, and it's not acceptable. And I need to be happy with my own appearance so that my children can have lifetime memories long after I'm gone, let alone grandchildren, great-grandchildren, being able to see what their ancestor looked like. Now, I am a massive genealogy buff myself, have done the family hundreds of years into the past, love collecting photos of them, love every little bits and bobs of information I can get about them. So what makes me think, even for a second, that my descendants are not going to want to see what I look like? And for even those that are unborn, they have the right to know what their great-great-granny looked like, instead of me deciding, no, you can't have any photos of me. Because at this rate, nobody's going to have any photos of me whatsoever. So yeah, remember that one, Emily, because this one hurts. And this needs to be changed now. And this is, if above anything else, which all those other things are about my own personal discomfort, basically, this is something which is affecting my children. And that is the last thing that I want to do. Let alone my husband. If I die, he doesn't have any photos of me. So that's not fair either. Like, that really should be my number one thing. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Number 10. I'm pretty sure it's number 10 now. Clothing. Can't find anything that fits me. Going back to whatever number it was where I talked about things rolling. So it's not just being able to find something that fits you. And I'm not among the biggest of the big, in the sense that some of my clothes are size 18 Australian, size 20 Australian. That's not too big. You can, even just in Kmart, Target, Big W kind of places, you can find those sizes quite easily. But it's the shape. Are they going to fit my body? I just look like a big fat roll anyway. Or for me to get like baggy clothes, for example, this is a painting top that I'm wearing. Sorry, I thought my daughter had woken up. This is a painting top because I'm painting today. But it's so baggy to go around my stomach, and my chest doesn't match it. So if I wore this properly, your boobs come out. So I'm forever doing this, being conscious of it, but you've got to have it big so it goes around your hips and your waist and your tummy. So, you know, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. And of course, everything's disgusting. And going into the change rooms, half the time you can't get anything to even do up on you, let alone the designs and everything are just so disgusting. So that is one thing that I'm really going to look forward to, being able to go in and actually get clothes that are half decent or don't make me look like I'm 60 years old. Which is the story of my life. I've never been able to get clothes within my own age group. And that probably hurt more when I was, you know, a late teen, early 20s. But now it still hurts because technically I'm 38 years old. I should be in the prime of my life, so to speak. And I look like a hobo, basically. So yeah, you don't get much choice of design or, you know, and here's another thing. Okay, at the top of your thighs. Doesn't matter what you wear. If you're wearing any form of pants or whatsoever, they're going to rub together. You're going to get pilling in the clothes, and then people can see it. So that's disgusting. I hate that. And that's got to go as well. Like, So, yeah. I think that'll do. That is 10, and this is a good reminder to myself. In the future, I am going to look back at this, and I am going to scold myself quite severely if I have let any of these things slip my mind to a point where I decide that that's acceptable or no, that's okay. Number one being the photo problem. My children, my descendants deserve photos, and unless I lose my weight, I'm never going to get there to a point where I want them as a mother, as a grandmother, future grandmother, and so on. I want my loved ones to have photos of me. And that is my biggest wish, that they can have what is their right, which so far, up until this point, I've been denying them. So yeah, that is the 10 things that I hate about being fat. So I'm going to leave it there. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thumbs up if you like the video. Feel free to ask me any questions or anything. I have some more videos coming up. It's just a matter of finding the time with 6 kids in the home. It's hard for me to find time to sit down and do a video. So, yeah, see you in the next one. Okay, bye.